But I wonder how many teams, and I feel like Toronto might be one, where we've got high-end skill, but where do we find that piss and vinegar and that give a shit attitude? That we got to find that. I just wonder if there's going to be some guys that might make some money this offseason because they're heart and soul kind of guys again.
Yeah, you find it or you steal it, right? And that's what Toronto tried to do last year. You know, they sign Anthony Stolarz, they bring in Lorentz, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and now you've got Bennett and you've got Aaron Ekblad, who are unrestricted free agents this year. So I don't know. I mean, maybe Florida finds a way to keep one or both of those guys. I'm not sure how. But the one thing I do know, and rightfully so, Billy Zito has been named as a finalist for the General Manager of the Year, along with Cheveldayoff and Jim Nill. It's not shooting fish in a barrel. I know, like, Florida is a destination of choice, but not because the sun shines gloriously most of the time. It's because there's always a chance to win, and the fact that there's a state tax benefit is a pretty significant perk as well. But look at the work that Zito did. I mean, so we all watched the Chicago Blackhawks and Seth Jones flounder with Chicago, right? You know, how many of us were convinced that, okay, as soon as he was acquired by the Florida Panthers, he was going to step into that role, into that blue line, and be a flawless fit, like near perfect for them. I wasn't. I'm sitting there going, geez, you better be sure here, man, because you give up that conditional first in 26. You give up Spencer Knight, who we don't really know how good a goalie he is going to be. And you take on that mammoth contract. Granted, there was a piece of it that was retained, but still, I mean, you have to have organizational depth. Your pro scouts, they can't miss on a contract like that when you're the Florida Panthers, and they didn't. They didn't. So now the Ekblad scenario becomes less of a must if you're Zito and the Florida Panthers. And, you know, if Sam Bennett decides that he's going somewhere else, well, okay, you know, Zito's going to look at Marner. He's going to look at another available player and plug him in, and away they go next year. I mean, it's just high quality management that's compounded by the fact that they've got a fantastic coach, staff, and a winning culture there that, in my opinion, is second to none.
They've got all the pieces. They've got the team.
Got them all.
They've got the GM. They've got the location. They've got the practice facility now.
Everything.
The taxes. They've got the weather. Why are guys leaving? And even more importantly, I think this year, there were guys that left last year for money.
Right.
And had to me, I didn't live their life. It sure didn't look like it would be as fun as just staying.
Right.
If there was an option. I don't know if they were being offered the contract, but like, who went to Seattle?
Brandon Montour.
Life is not great in Seattle. Right? I'm sorry. Yes, you're making money and you got a good contract. And I'm not, but that's got to be a word of caution for those guys. So we're winning. There's beaches, the taxes,
right.
Life is damn good down here.
It is, but I wonder, Rhett, tell me if I'm wrong. How much of it? Okay, money is obviously going to be a factor.
Everyone's making money.
Always. And okay, I want to use Sam Bennett as exhibit A here because this is going to be his last mega contract. Like, he's going to hit the grand slam here. So money, number one. Number two, is there a pride factor in this? You know, were you in dressing rooms where you thought you had a pretty good year, a contract year, and then all of a sudden this guy gets extended, this guy gets extended, that guy gets extended, and you're sitting there going, oh, wait a minute, like now I'm fourth or fifth, and in a salary cap era, I'm like, well, I don't mind leaving a little bit of money on the table, but if I can get $9 million on the open market and I can pick my place to play, and maybe it's in another tax-friendly organization, city, maybe you do that.
You're right. You have to do the deep dive if you're one of those guys and what it adds up to. And it's $10 million over the next day. Who are we to say what $10 million means to Sam Bennett? I don't know.
Right.
I'm just throwing $10 million
sure.
is a number. Yeah. But the other side of that, and I don't know what. Yes, there's a pride thing. For sure there is.
Yeah.
But there's also a team thing.
Yeah.
And clearly these guys love playing together. And that matters.
Sure.
Right? Now
Yep.
you have to do the decision. Rob Ray was in Buffalo, and we were in Tampa Bay, and we weren't making the playoffs. And I always say this because Rob Ray is a Buffalo Sabre. If there's
Yes.
ever a player that represents the team he played for, to me, it's Rob Ray.
Agreed.
EVY was a Detroit Red Wing, right? So anyway, but Rob Ray could have stayed a Sabre for life, or he could go to Ottawa to take a run at the Cup. What do you want more of?
Mm-hmm.
Sam Bennett, do you want to come to I'm just saying it because it's on the hot topic. Do you want to come to Toronto and try to break the curse? Do you want to carry that burden? And if you do it, do you want the accolades that will come with it? Like there's challenges that players want too, right?
Sure.
So it's not easy, but I would, if I'm sitting back and I'm a player, for myself personally, and I'm looking across at the guy that I just won a cup with, and I've been through the battles with, and I absolutely
I hear you.
And it's $1 million less, and it's that's a
that tipping point will be different for every guy.
Yes.
What's the dollar where I am now going to leave because I have to? This just makes too much sense.
Yeah. Well, and look, you know what? Was it earlier this week when Maurice was asked on an off day, but what has impressed him the most? And I don't know if that's how the question was worded, but from the day he took the job as head coach of the Florida Panthers to now, and he talked about introducing himself to the players and making all the phone calls. And I think he said his first call was to Carter Verhaeghe, and Verhaeghe didn't even really want to talk about himself. He just wanted to talk about how great his teammates were and the hockey side of it. Oh, this guy's got an incredible shot. The hockey IQ from this guy is tremendous. And to a man, he got that going through that roster. Well, I think that supports what you're saying, Rhett. I really do. And that's why I'm not convinced. Darren Ferris, we kind of jokingly refer to him as the Ferris wheel. Because he always likes to, create that environment around his top free agents and always likes to march them to July 1st. And he has Sam Bennett and he has Mitch Marner. And he also just acquired Bo Byram with the Buffalo Sabres, who made an agent change, right? And he's a restricted free agent. So there's a lot going on in that agent's world. But at the end of the day, if Bo comes back and Billy Zito creates enough cap space or makes a decision that there will be cap space and it's going to come in around close, I'm with you, man. I mean, Bennett's got a pretty good world happening right there. And all of those, and I understand Sam Bennett would be perfect for Craig Berube, the way that Berube wants the Toronto Maple Leafs to play. I just don't understand why Sam Bennett would choose the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I don't either. Unless there are guys that want to, there's always conversations about, guy from Quebec would want to go play for Montreal. But then you're like, there's a ton of guys that don't. No, but there's still guys that do.
There is, but you know what?
Dougie Gilmour wanted to be a Toronto Maple Leaf. And
different era though, right?
It is a different era, but there are challenges that guys want to accept. And it is appealing to think that you can be the piece, and that I'll call it confidence instead of arrogance. Guys are confident.
Yeah.
It's just like a coach. I can get this club to play better. The player goes, I can make this. I'm going to help this team get over. Of course I am.
Yeah. And every top free agent talks to the coach, obviously, before he signs with that team. So there would be, I think, a pretty strong connection. I mean, I don't know what the history is between Bennett and Brad Treliving back to the Calgary days, but Sam Bennett became a real good hockey player in a hurry after he left the Calgary Flames. Yeah. So we'll have to see how it plays out. I'm not trying to belittle the the Toronto Maple Leafs in whatever role they're going to try and take in free agency. All I'm saying is, if it's not Florida for Sam Bennett, he's going to have 20 other offers in addition to Toronto. So lots of decisions to be made.
Hey, buddies, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.